Waifu Grass types. If you have spent any amount of time with Pokemon, you might be familiar with this category of Pokemon. Introduced in Generation 2 with Blossom, this category of Pokemon, typically 2 or 3 stage Pokemon, are grass types that contain highly feminine traits and have led to peculiar interests from fans over the years, earning the fan term Waifu Grass mods. Despite fans' odd but harmless interest in plant-like Pokemon, the vast majority of these Pokemon are actually really good in a main playthrough while also being really good in competitive play. Roserade is the third best grass poison type that is more offense-oriented than Venusaur and Amoonguss. Both Lilligant forms are groovy sweepers that have toolkits and style, and even eerier grass waifus like Leavanny and Arboliva have unique roles such as being a sticky web lead and bulky terrain user respectively. Overall, most of these waifu grass mons are great Pokemon that have traits that allow them to stand out from the competition. But of all the waifu grass mons that exist, the one waifu grass mon that I can't help but be underwhelmed by would be the Bloomsicle Pokemon, also known as Lurantis. I'm not disappointed in its design or anything, oh no, quite the contrary. I love Lurantis. It's an adorable Pokemon and easily one of my favorite grass types. No, what I am referring to is Lurantis' battle capability. Lurantis may have solid stats, a good move pool that provides offense and support, and even a stellar ability in Contrary, allowing moves like Leaf Storm and Superpower to boost special attack and attack and defense respectively. So with all that said, it would be fair to assume that Lurantis is a great Pokemon in competitive play, right? Unfortunately, no. Despite Lurantis' good traits I just mentioned, Lurantis sadly cannot keep up in competitive play because of its terrible speed, average bulk, and lack of moves that it would greatly appreciate. Lurantis obviously has potential to be a stellar Pokemon, but could use a few more tools if it wants to be a stellar Grass-type Waifumon. Where better to start than with where I usually start, the stats. As I mentioned, Lurantis has solid but average stats alongside a terrible speed stat. That awful speed stat, as bad as it is not the main issue with Lurantis' stats. It's how painfully average to underwhelming they are. 70 HP and 80 in both defenses aren't terrible, but they can obviously be better. And while Lurantis is a contrary user that can effectively run mixed sets, unlike Superior and Malamar, who mainly stay special or physical respectively, can't effectively utilize Contrary due to its terrible speed, giving it less opportunities to utilize Contrary to inverse the stat drops from moves like Leaf Storm and Superpower. Now normally, I would just focus on one type of offensive stat and leave the other to diminish, but with Lurantis, you can go with mixed sets. Want to run an all special set with Superpower for physical bulk? Can work. Want to run an all physical set with Leaf Storm to check physically bulky Pokemon? That too can work. Want to run a speedy mix set? Well, sadly no. Lurantis can go primarily physical and special, and both would work really well. Just need some extra bulk and a touch of some speed to really be effective. With a new base stat total of 521, Lurantis will have a respectable HP stat of 80, a good attack stat of 108, a solid defense stat of 94, decent special attack stat of 92, a modest special defense stat of 96, and a bad, but still better speed stat of 51. Since Lurantis' primary moves of Leaf Storm and Superpower are going to take advantage of Contrary, I felt I didn't need to overhaul the attacking stats, so I just bumped the attack and special attack up by 3 and 12 points respectively, so their Superpowers and Leaf Storms can pack some extra oomph. As for the bulk, I really wanted to put most of the new points into the bulk, as Lurantis could use some better hit-taking capabilities that give it more opportunities to do something, while also compensating for its improved, but still terrible speed stat of 51. But hey, at least it can now outspeed the Reggies while not being speed-tied with Bulbasaur when there is no sun, that is. Which would be a good time to mention Lurantis' once signature move, Solar Blade. Solar Blade is the physical counterpart to Solar Beam, in which it's a high base power grass type move that requires a turn to charge and another turn to fire. But if the move is being used under Sun, then it takes one turn to charge and fire the move. The move is really good, but hardly sees use because the few Pokemon that do get the move hardly use it because there are better options. And it's a really shame that Lurantis didn't have an ability to best utilize what was for a time its signature move. So let's fix that by replacing Leaf Guard with Chlorophyll. Leaf Guard is an ability that practically no Pokemon uses because they have a better secondary ability, and Lurantis is no exception, as it always uses Contrary over Leaf Guard. But having the ability to double Lurantis' terrible speed and let it use its one signature move will give Lurantis a place on Sun teams and lead to unpredictability. While I don't need to give Lurantis another ability, I do want to give Lurantis an ability that would fit alongside its lore and design. Introducing Insecticide. This ability works the same way as Delmize's Steelworker ability, in which Lurantis will practically gain stab on bug moves despite not being a bug type. This ability actually works really well with Lurantis' whole design, as it's a plant-like Pokemon that takes on the appearance of a mantis to ward off predators. It's why many fans are confused as to why it's not a bug type when it looks like a bug type and knows a lot of bug type moves. So why not play into that by giving it an ability that practically gives it stab on bug moves, like Leech Life and X-Scissor. Heck, the new Insecticide ability could even help Lurantis take better advantage of the new moves I want to provide for it, such as Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz is one of the premier bug-type moves, clocking in at a modest base power of 90 and having a 10% chance to lower the opponent's special defense by one stage. Bug Buzz works really well for Lurantis as it further plays into its bug-type facade, while also giving it another special move to run alongside Leaf Storm, while also technically gaining stab if we take into account the new Insecticide ability I gave Lurantis. A few more bug moves that Lurantis would like regardless of if it's using Contrary or Insecticide would be First Impression as a strong priority move, Fell Stinger to grab a huge attack stat if Insecticide is the ability being ran, Bug Bite to steal an opponent's berry, and Quiver Dance as a setup move for special attacking sets. But regardless of if Quiver Dance is being used on the Insecticide variant or if Lurantis wants immediate power with Contrary Leaf Storms, the great special move for both sets would be Sludge Bomb. Not only does Sludge Bomb provide coverage for fairy types and opposing grass types, but it would also work alongside Praying Mantis and their ability to shoot out liquid waste. But if you want a physical poison move that is just worse than Sludge Bomb and Poison Jab, then Cross Poison is the move for you. With a high crit rate, Cross Poison also serves as grass and fairy type coverage, while luring in players with its high crit rate. Another move that lures players in with its high crit rate, but isn't outclassed entirely, would be Psycho Cut. Serving as great coverage for fighting and poison types, Psycho Cut works wonders for Lurantis, as it fits into its design with its sharp petal arms. Other moves that Lurantis could use its sharp petal arms for would be Dual Chop as a multi-hitting dragon move, Fake Out for flinching support that chips the opponent, Power Whip as a strong physical move that doesn't require a turn to charge, and even Petal Dance as a grass-type outrage. And to round out the new moves for Lurantis, I'm going to give it Baby Doll Eyes because, come on, can you not find this Pokemon adorable? And Bulk Up because it learns a good amount of fighting moves, and Bulk Up really needs to see more use in my opinion. With bolstered stats, a replacement ability, and an original ability, alongside new moves like Bug Buzz, Sludge Bomb, and Power Whip, we're confident that Lurantis can have better success in competitive play, while also not being viewed as the second worst Contrary user. But what do you guys think about the buffs I provided for Lurantis? Comment down below, and while you're down there, why not join my team by subscribing? There's always a spot open for you, and if you want to further prove your loyalty to the team, head over to my community tab and vote on which Pokemon I should buff next, and comment on a Pokemon you would like to see buffed next. And I'll keep it in mind. And huge shout out to Kasia Kolidinaska, I hope I said that right, for creating the new Ratachu sprite you've been seeing throughout this video. She's a very talented artist, and I would highly recommend supporting her because her artwork is just phenomenal. I've left a link to her art station in the description below, so go check out her art, and until next time, I'll catch you later.